Evening all, Louise here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. It's been a while. For those of you who came on the live last night, members, thank you. I made a right cock up, if you like. I said it was for members only. It turns out that every nutcase and whatever, troll or whatever you want to call them in the land decided to come into the live chat. It turns out that it was set for live, but it wasn't registered as live. I went back in this morning. It was set to live. It didn't turn out that way. I'm still waiting for answers as to why that happened. So I can't tell you any answers yet. Still not got anything back from Yao Chow. It was a bit of a shit show, if you like. It was a bit crazy. But there you go. You live and learn. I did say I'd had a week, and apparently that week had continued into last night. We are about 100 subscribers away now from reaching 4,000. If you want to be entered into the draw for this homemade felt pouch containing my old Rider-Waite tarot deck, you need to be subscribed and you need to put in the comments interested. I do know if you're not subscribed, so I don't enter you if you're not subscribed. So hopefully we will be looking at giving this a draw very soon. There's also another gift that's coming with that, which I will announce on the night of the draw. Right, loads and loads and loads of you have asked me to do a reading on Ben Habib. Now he's got settled. He's about 7 weeks into announcing his Advance UK party. And people wanted an update on that. So that's what I'm going to do. So for tonight's cards, we have the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. And we have, for Oracle cards, we have the Predictions deck by Trish James Oracles. What we're starting with. We're starting with tarot tonight. So let's have a look at what's occurring. Right, Ben Habib. Let's have a look at what the tarot's got to say about Ben Habib. I've got a really good feeling about this party. I don't know. I just keep getting really good vibes about it. So we'll have to see what comes up as I pull cards. I have actually, last night's live wasn't totally in vain because I did pick up some subscribers. A lot. I keep losing loads of subscribers, and then within a week that subscriber count goes back to its original count before I lost a load of subscribers. But last night's live video, which was supposed to be members live, did pick up a few subscribers, so above the original number that keeps sort of sticking and then going down and then going back to the original number. For those of you who are members, and a couple of people did sign up to be members last night as well, which I suppose in a way might be a thing that I might have to do now and again. A couple of members have offered to be moderators. I'm looking into how to set you up to be able to moderate comments. If we end up picking up more subscribers, more coming along the journey, that's more money in donations for the hospice, which, you know, in my mind cannot be a bad thing. Now, this donating to Bluebell Wood, by January next year, we will have been donating all the revenue to Bluebell Wood Children's Hospice for an entire year since this channel was monetized. I'm thinking about it, and you can tell me what you think, because I'm not going to do anything that the subscribers don't want me to do. I am thinking of changing that charity next year. And I'm thinking of changing that charity to a homeless veterans charity. Or any other suggestions that you may have, please pop them in the comments, because this is going to be something that members and subscribers will be voting on at some point, whether to keep it the same or change charity for a bit. The reason why I picked Bluebell Wood was because they really don't get a lot of money from charities, like big charities. Their unit, if you like, is run mainly on donations. I'm a little bit skeptical of massive charities because they've got the fingers in all sorts of corrupt pies, and I wouldn't want to be giving money that my subscribers have helped me sort of gain through the revenue to a company that will be mismanaging it and sending it in the wrong direction. Right. So first up, we've got the tower. So the tower. This is the tower is always something earth-shattering. It can also be a massive awakening. This tower just looks like it's unexpected to me. You've got this little rabbit in the forest, and this lightning has struck this tree, and it seems surprising, but the rabbit doesn't look scared to death. So it's almost like something's about to come. Something's about to explode, implode, but the people aren't necessarily going to be surprised or even frightened by that. Where that's got to do with advance, it could be. I see. I'm feeling this tower actually as a really good thing. So I don't know why. And I'm looking at this Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is all about putting up your defences. So I think what's happening, or what will happen, or what's about to happen, shall we say, and I'm feeling this the third week in August, and I don't know why. So to the third week in August, fourth week in August maybe, or it could be the third or fourth week in September. There's this riot of, not a riot as in a real riot, but this massive shock that's going to send others out putting up this massive defence. Now I'm wondering if that means Advance is going to hit their 30,000 members very, very quickly. It feels like a rude awakening, but it's not surprising. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying here? And then in the middle here, there's going to be a massive defensive, this defensive put up. It could just be political handbags at dawn, actually. I'm feeling this Nine of Wands as like an opposition, but a retreating opposition. It's like they're not going to. Doesn't feel like the gloves are off. It feels like whoever Advance are opposing on the political scene are. It feels like I'm seeing writing right now in the form of a manifesto booklet, and I'm seeing that manifesto booklet with a golden edge. So it's almost like like the stone tablets. This is what I'm seeing. Like this manifesto is like a stone tablet. It's the law. It's the law. It's not really the law, but it's like this important document that cannot be altered or changed or bastardized. And I think that's what we're going to see. I think Advance's popularity is going to put a few boots up people's backsides, and it's going to make them go back to their their written document, their written manifesto, and set it in stone. It's like an end to flip-flopping. This is what I'm feeling. I'm really feeling this. And then we've got the King of Wands. This is fiery. This is, well, obviously it's a Leo. It's one of the Leo cards. So this is about strength. But the torch in this King of Wands, all of a sudden I'm getting an image of a movie. You know, when people are going out in force to look for somebody, or they're going into battle or whatever, and they've got these fiery torches. It just feels like a people's movement, people's movement. And I don't know whether this means advance or whether this means an amalgamation of like-minded parties. Thing is, all the parties that we would say are on the right, although I don't like to say that because it doesn't really mean anything. They're really more centrist than right. But all these different right parties like Advance, Reform, Heritage, UKIP, what's the British party? Britain First, all those sorts of parties. They've all got different things in their manifestos. It feels like it's there's a banging of heads, a clanging of heads. It's like, you need to get your act together because we are ready to fight the establishment. And that's what this card feels like to me. And then, you know, I never even looked at, I know what it was. I didn't even know what it was. I just sort of put it to one side. But now I'm looking at it. We've got this Three of Wands. Now, the Three of Wands is deal done. The Two of Wands is about forging alliances, making trade deals, all that kind of thing. This is all about waiting for the ships to come in. I think Advance is going to do very well, but I think Advance is actually going to push the other parties that have been sort of flip-flopping, and they have been flip-flopping, including Reform. It's going to push the other parties to set their manifesto, to find, I think I said it yesterday, Starmer hasn't got, right, this is what we want to achieve and that's how we're going to do it, and we're not going to veer from that path. But the other parties, like Reform, said this is what we're going to achieve and this is how we're going to do it, but they've gone like that. They've not veered, they've not set out a plan and stuck to it. This feels like they're all going to lose unless they start to follow a very strict line of direction and focus on what they want to achieve. This does feel like there's going to be some alliances here, though. And maybe Advance, along with Restore, Rupert Lowe's, what's it called? It's like a think tank, if you like. It feels like they are working together to effect change. And I know Rupert Lowe's Restore isn't a party, but his idea of collecting what people are asking for and why people are angry and taking that into Parliament to wake up these career politicians that have lived in gated communities and had a certain idea about what life is. There's an awakening going on here. And I actually do think Advance and Restore are working very, very closely with one another. And I do know that Advance UK they've not written the manifesto because I'm a member of Advance. But they've not written the manifesto. They've written what they would like to achieve, and it's all down to the sovereignty. There's 4 principles. But it's down to us to tell Advance what we would like to see. And I've already filled in about 4 different surveys of them asking questions of what I would like to see done and how I would approach a certain issue that we're having in the country. When do you get that from Tories and Labour? When do you get that from the Lib Dems and the Greens? and any other party, you know, Clyde Cymru and the SNP, and you don't. They're actually asking us what we think. Grassroots people. There's an alliance being formed. I think I said it last time when I first did that first reading with Advance, and I kept calling it Aspire. I think I kept calling it Aspire. It does feel like there's going to be a name change, though, for Advance. I don't know, but there's definitely a huge awakening. Defences are coming up, but there's going to be an alliance. The people have had enough. They're ready to fight the good fight. What's this one? We have Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords, and we've got the Knight of Swords as well. So the Ten of Swords, between the Nine of Wands and the King of Wands. Ten of Swords talks about, tens are always about endings. And endings always signal new beginnings. The Ten of Swords in the Rider-Waite tarot is someone laid face down with 10 swords in his back. It means betrayal or something's come to a serious end. But in that card, there is a dawn breaking on the horizon. Endings don't mean everything's lost forever. It means there's hope for renewal. And this actually does feel like this coalition, this agreement. It does feel like a coalition. This agreement ends the strife, ends this defensiveness and the handbags at dawn and all that kind of thing. It's going to end. There is going to be. There's already been a betrayal anyway between certain members. There's been a betrayal of quite a few members of Reform, particularly those that sort of publicly stated any sort of allegiance or agreement with Tommy Robinson. For instance, they were kicked out. There's been a lot of issues with Reform, and it feels like this betrayal, the backbiting, is going to come to an end. I'm actually thinking this might have something to do with the playground politics that Reform have been deploying. I think there might be an end to that. But then we've got the Knight of Swords. So it's like the Knight of Swords is someone who, as a person, would be someone who acts without thinking things through. Sometimes the Knight of Swords is chasing attainment that cannot be caught. But something's running away from Advance at the moment. There seems to be a breakaway group that literally goes from here to here. It feels like it's the end of the betrayal. There is an alliance, an allegiance, a coalition, if you like, and then all of a sudden there's this breakaway group, this breakaway party that starts to fly, basically. Whether that's Advance or not, I don't know. Is the cards going to tell us? Is Advance, or whatever Advance is going to be named in the future, going to be this breakaway? 2 minutes. Going to be this breakaway party? Let's have a look. We have the Queen of Pentacles. I think Advance is going to go from like 30,000 or 20 odd thousand, and all of a sudden, once it becomes an actual party, because Reform isn't a political party yet, it's still a business. And Nigel Farage and Zia Youssef are the major shareholders. Let's not forget that. It feels like once Advance becomes a legitimate political party, because as soon as it reaches 30,000 members, Ben Habib is going to put in £100,000 of his own money and put all the paperwork in to make an Advance a party. I think that's when you're going to see Advance more Ben Habib and representatives like Howard Cox and other people who have were initially in reform, or well-known people, academics and whatnot, that they have in the college. You're going to see these people more on media, not necessarily media. This is security and safety. This is wanting for nothing. It feels like Advance is going to be the breakaway party. This is success. But first, there are some teething problems. There is going to be this awakening, this shock. There's going to be a shock. It doesn't feel like a shock to Advance. It feels like a shock to all the other parties that have just been coasting. You know, it feels like those who feel that they are possibly safe, like your Labours, your Tories, you know, your established parties, and even Reform to an extent. I do think Advance is going to just go from naught to sky high. And I think this is what these cards are trying to tell me. Right, let's have a predictions card. Watch it be totally unrelated to Advance UK and Ben Habib. Let's have a look. So, come on. Let's have a predictions. Just for a bit of fun. All right then. Let's have a look. So if you haven't watched that live, it's open to everybody. Go and watch the live and see what you think. It was an absolute shit show. We have new rules, policies, and law. We had this, I think, recently. New rules, policies, and law. Oh, right. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Military action. Ooh, I wonder if he's going to put the Navy in the English Channel. I wonder if Starmer starts shitting himself and then starts doing the things that he should be doing, like using the military to police these the illegal immigrants, because the crime rate and the sexual assault rate gone through the absolute roof. And then we've got pandemic health crisis. Now that came up last time as well. So I'm wondering if that's going to be used as an excuse to stop people going out on the streets. I'm wondering if this is either putting naval ships in the English Channel and using the military to patrol areas within our country, or whether this is an excuse to lock us down because of fear of civil unrest. There's a lot of talk about whether we are heading for a civil war. Let me look at these cards again. These cards aren't talking about civil war. They're talking about putting your defences up. We've got two here with a torch. Putting your defences up. This is the people defending themselves, but it's also political parties feeling like they've got to put the barriers up. If this is a betrayal, this could be a betrayal of the people. It could be a betrayal of the people. These new rules, policies and law could be what enacts a pandemic policy and uses the military to keep us locked in our houses. Is that going to be successful? I actually don't think anything like that's going to be successful. I really don't. Not after the last one. I'm going to put those two back because there's too many and I only want the one. Is that going to be successful? So many people Oh, we know that. Ah, right. It's not going to be successful because there's too many of us. Too many of us. We don't have a massive army anymore. In fact, we've got more illegal immigrants in this country than we've got military. All for money. Right. I think there's going to be an attempt. I think there's going to be an attempt to shut us up using new rules, policies, and laws. But I don't think it's going to work. Let me have one more tarot. Is this to do with advance? What's this got to do with advance, please? This got to do with advance, please. The world. Right, the world is about fate. It's about it ain't over till the fat lady sings. It's a very positive card. The world is your oyster. Life goes in cycles. It feels like this is, if this actually comes to pass in the next few months, I don't think it's going to last very long because the people have got the power in their hands, and now more than ever, they know it. More than ever, ordinary men and women now understand that the power doesn't lie with the top, it lies with the masses. And I think it's not going to work. If there is an attempt to do this, it's going to fall on deaf ears. It really is. This is going to be resisted. And all this attempt to quash using laws, there's too many people. There's too many people to enact it. And there's not enough of those at the top, because those at the top are all leaving the country and dishing it. Those with the most money. So what that's got to do with advance, I would say if that's got anything to do with advance, it would be their coalition that they may forge, and it has something to do with the fact that the people have found a party or a collection of parties, if they actually get their heads together, that are listening to the people and empowering them. This is a card of empowerment as well. The world. So all in all, a positive card. We're not actually there yet. There is still a lot more shit to hit the fan. It's coming out daily, every single day. There are like 5 or 6 stories of Labour's failure, Tories' failure, disappointing news about, how many more times we're going to get shafted. The pensioners are going to really cop it again. It's just crazy how much this government are raiding the money of old age pensioners, those that have worked all their lives, and they're still coming back for more. Now it's people's pensions. They paid into pension funds, into pension pots, and died before they'd been able to receive it. The government's going to take 40% of that now. There is going to be this strong sense that we are more powerful, and more people have come to the realization and realized that actually when we stick together, when we stay in numbers, when we're all of one mind, that's where the magic happens. And I think the magic is going to happen. Might not be this year, but it's going to happen. But first there is some sort of shock. It feels like a shock, but not really a shock, if you know what I mean. It's not a frightening shock. It's like, this is an awakening. And I think people are are waking up to complacency where politics is concerned. People are now listening to what politicians are saying and listening very carefully to what politicians are saying. Because if everybody listened carefully to what Keir Starmer was saying, they would have realised that what he was saying was not a lot. There was no meat on the bones. He was making no promises. And I think a lot of people have realised that and have become more discerning when listening to politicians. You know, they get put on the spot now. They can't answer a question. And I think with Advance, you haven't got that because you've got people who are, they know what they're doing. They're intelligent. They're seasoned people. They've lived in the real world. They know where, they've got a clear plan. They know where they want to go and they've got a plan of how they're going to get there and they're not going to veer off that path. They're taking the public as their guideline for where we should be going. Because I think even politicians have realised that we're not all the stupid plebs that are as thick as pig shit. A lot of us actually can see where the country's heading way before they can, because we're not sheltered. We don't live in gated communities. We don't have security 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We haven't been through private education and don't have mummy and daddy to, pick us up every time something goes wrong. We have to find our own ways out of that. And this experience comes from having to find your way out of the shit by yourself. There's good learning in that. A lot of our politicians hadn't had to learn anything at all. So I think Advance are going to do really well. I think there is going to be some sort of coalition, possibly Advance and Restore, possibly Advance, Restore, and other smaller parties that have got very similar ideas of where the country should be heading. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough, haven't I? I'm absolutely knackered after yesterday. It absolutely wore me out. Anyway, I'm going, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Ta-ra! Oh! Before I go, members only live 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Be there or be square. Ta-ra!